Well, I know there's been a lot said of the lyrics that you sort of composed to and sort of the stories behind. So I'm wondering if there was any one of the songs in this new album, Zeal, which has an interesting story behind it.
Oh, you're putting the pressure on me. Yeah, it's well, I would say that several of them are infused with a couple of random trips I took on my own to places. I did a couple of things. So, yeah, keep the story short because I'm really bad at that. For about 12 years, I've sort of been involved in meditation a little bit. I'm not going to go on about that. You know, people know it's out there. Not very disciplined by the very nature of what I do most of the time, but it's there for me and I have found it very interesting and I read around the subject. But in the last 18 months I went on a trip called a Vipassana course, where I went up into the countryside of England to a course around there where you don't speak for nearly 2 weeks, which was something I'd planned to do. Another musician had told me about that. So I eventually found the time to do that. But as a vocalist and someone who tours, this was, you know, extraordinarily magical for me because the one centre of the most kind of output of my energy was the thing that we weren't using. So it was very focused, it was very disciplined, and it was incredible. I think I partly went there thinking that I would see auras and grow a unicorn horn or something. You know, a little part of me, a little child was going, yeah, something will happen. It's not quite like that. What you do is so subtle, and the kind of emotions and the sense that you have when you accomplish this is pretty, you know, astonishing. So with that, I was, just I suppose really energized. That led me to a little while later going to another meditation thing on the foothills of the Himalayas and stayed with some people there. So this is all going on a really random tangent that doesn't necessarily have its representation sonically in what we're doing now, but lyrically I've been exposed to some pretty incredible trips and people and states of being, and you will find those lines hidden in the lyrics, and probably now that I've gone on about that so long, you'll notice it. But I won't spell it out for you, but you know, it's very much part of the lyrical bed of this album.
Yeah, interesting. So now that we've gotten you to open up and reveal some more, I'm wondering,
probe.
I'm wondering if you can tell us 3 interesting things about you that people may not know.
Oh God.
Hidden talents or things that you're into besides music, or anything that we haven't read before about you.
Pressure. Well, I did sing backing vocals with Jerry Lee Lewis in Memphis once. Yeah, in about 2008, I think it was. Again, very random. Someone I was working with who was working with someone else was part of the production of his album that came out a few years ago, and they needed some female vocalists, and they, just bring Leela, she'll do it. And of course I would, but I mean, I was like thousands of miles away and ended up flying in with Ronnie Wood on a private jet, and it was just, pretty insane. It was great. He was a real gentleman, and he drinks Mountain Dew soda quite a lot.
Isn't he like 80 something?
Yeah, he was 80, I think. Yeah, I mean, he still had it, man. I mean, the killer was still there. You know, he was playing great.
That's awesome.
But older, you know, and. We had a good conversation about, can I get you a coffee, Jerry? How's it going? I'll take a can of Mountain Dew. And I was just like, this is brilliant, this is a perfect moment. I actually even forget that happened, but when I remember,
very cool.
It was good. It was really good. And I didn't have to sing much, but it was worth the trip.
Yeah,
that's for sure. What else wouldn't you know about me? I used to love roller boots when I was a kid, and I've recently been thinking about it more and more, and I think I'm going to get a pair and like get back into it, but not blades. I've forgotten about it for like a whole part of my life, and then someone was talking about it the other day, and I remember there used to be this advert from Martini with a girl going up and down with a tray, and I'd forgotten about this whole part of my childhood, but my mum used to give me a plastic glass, and I'd take this tray up and down the street on my roller boots. Anyway, cut long story short, I was talking to someone about roller boots the other day, who's also like,
hey, you should bring it back.
Old enough not to be going around in roller boots, and we were just like, why don't we start doing this more often? So yeah, I'm going to start that.
Start a new trend.
Yeah,
absolutely. Cool.
Am I supposed to think of something else?
If you have something, if not, we won't put you on the spot.
I'm a really good barmaid. I'm very good at remembering what regulars drink, what they had last time, and yeah, if all else fails, I know I can really work the bar.
Nice. Well, and because we are a magazine catered to covering women in music, I was reading a lot of interviews with you that had some really weird questions for you, and so I'm wondering, what is like the dumbest question you've been asked about someone, about specifically being a woman in music?
Well, it's like, what's it like performing as a woman? I'm like, I've no idea. It's like performing like a guy, but without getting sweaty balls. It's just like, I have no idea. I mean, the question is what it's like to perform.
Right.
However, sometimes people do ask what it's like to be the only female travelling in the crew. It hasn't always been that. We've had crew, a female, and at the moment, there's a brilliant woman on lights, Michelle, and Gary Newman's wife is here. So
very cool.
We've got our little crew. But actually, my experience in the main has been, I have somehow managed to avoid most sort of chauvinistic sort of pathways. I'm very, very fortunate. I travel with very cool people. So when people ask me that question, I'm like, I don't really have like a big fighting talk about the industry, because I've either avoided it or just. I think playing this kind of music and being on a kind of like a tour schedule, you just manage to avoid misogynist fools. But yeah, when people ask questions about what it's like to be female, it's a wide open sort of where do we start from here kind of political question that could go anywhere. But I mean, generally everybody's very respectful and it's all cool.
Yeah, and then just lastly, to sort of follow up with that, because there's a lot of women, of course, and men who read our site, but for any women who are aspiring musicians or singers, what one piece of advice would you give to them?
Well, you know what? I overheard Gary Newman saying an answer to pretty much the same question the other day, and he just said, I wouldn't give anyone any advice. Young people coming through will have had their own history and found their own pathway and will probably bring something really fresh, and it will be their experience. And when he said that, I was so struck that he's exactly right. And honestly, I've worked with some really good people and good managers and people who I really like, and I really enjoy their company, and they try and tell you the best from their perspective. But ultimately, something will go wrong or will go awry, or you'll feel let down. And what I can only really offer is that everything comes back down to you, really. If you really want something to be taken care of, then just do it yourself. And then you won't find yourself getting really pissed off with someone because they got the wrong aesthetic, or they said it the wrong way and it got translated down the line and you felt misrepresented. So it's tiring, but really, if you really want to be you and communicate like you without it being adulterated or toned down, take yourself to every aspect of the work, whether that's how to promote you, or talking to blogs and ringing up agents and deciding on tours and deciding on merchandise and people that you tour with. All of that, like the company you keep, is incredibly important, and make the decisions yourself. Because other people don't really know who the fuck you are,
Yep.
Unless they're family, and even then, who knows?
Watch out.
Yeah, so it's pretty exhausting. And I've got it wrong so many times that, it's fine. I still have so much admiration for people that I worked with anyway, where things didn't kind of work out. But I look back now and just think, I should have just done that myself. I thought it was a business, so I thought, oh, well, you're kind of businessmen, so you do it and then tell me what to do. It's complete bullshit. Just do the thing. Find the number, ring the person, get there yourself, and just do it. And you'll get the same results or better, and you won't feel misrepresented.
Sound advice. Well, thank you, Liela. Check out Zeal, which is out now, and Roman remains on tour with Gary Newman. Thank you.
Thanks very much.